All right, everybody. Welcome to the Triglavian Times, or as I lovingly call it, the Clusterfuck. Today we have a guest with us, but I'm Sabbat, your host. I have my co-hosts Reece
Hello.
and Kylon with me.
Hello.
Uh-oh, what's going on? What's going on with my audio? I've got Sutonia too.
And you should be able to hear us, I hope.
What the fuck? Give me 1 second, guys.
Whatever to do.
What the fuck is going on?
Windows changed all your defaults again. You're welcome.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can
I
hear you.
can't hear you. That's weird. 1 second.
Check your Discord settings.
And I wasn't speaking for the last 2 minutes, so
Yeah. You're being nice and quiet. It is a quiet Sunday afternoon, isn't it? Or evening now?
yeah, it's 9
Oh,
o'clock.
what the fuck is going on? I can't hear you guys at all.
Well,
Great start.
hey.
Could you
It
hear
had
us
to.
before you started?
That would be it. Yeah, because he was talking to us, remember?
Yeah, so I don't know if like OBS is like I don't
There
know if
we
he
go.
has.
I fixed the problem. Great, great.
So was it OBS or was it Discord or what was it?
No, we were laughing about Windows earlier, and Windows decided to shut off all my volume.
Bill Gates wants to know your location.
Yeah, pretty
Too
much.
late, he already knows.
So we have CCP Kestrel here with us today, or as everyone else knows him, Sutonia. Was watching him stream earlier today. So Sutonia, if you want to, I think everyone knows you do QA. You're one of our favorite player switchovers besides Aurora to CCP development. Anything else you want to add to that?
Oh, I see. She's the favorite, is she?
Hey, man, she was one of the first CCP devs on here, so it was only episode 4 and she came on. So
Yeah, so yeah, I work QA for the events team, Team Raw. So mostly the team that works on like the proving grounds and like events like Kadari Union Day, Memento Liberation Day, etc.
right.
And
So
previously, I was on the CSM as a player, and I guess I'm fairly well known as a PvP player. He used to make a bunch of videos and stream on Twitch, etc. Before I was hired by CCP.
yep, as I said, I watch him stream a little bit. I might, see him drift around every once in a while. We see a couple of Volta guys in our area of space having fun, so Volta is well known. What we plan on talking about today is a bit of faction warfare stuff and some AT stuff. I mean, it's kind of relevant. I mean, stuff's going to be rolling out soon, and AT will be starting up soon. I know Reece is kind of like, what the fuck is going on with Plex prices now?
Almost 5 mil.
Yeah, 5 mil sell. It's cheap.
Cheap.
So faction warfare. I know Sutonia knows probably about as much as the rest of us do, but kind of wanted to go through a little bit. Kind of talking points, what we think will be interesting. I know we're all bummed that you can't, the allegiance thing hasn't come out yet, which kind of is a downer on that front because you have to leave your respective Pokemon group, really, if you want to join one. I know there's a couple of Trig-based faction warfare groups, but most of us, are home in our happy place, so it makes it a little hard for us. But on the flip side, I do like some of the stuff that's coming out. I think I said this when they first announced it right after FanFest. I think it'll be badass if they add pirate factions and Trig Edencom to it and add more dynamic, um, which would be fun. But that's all pipe dream, Cloud9 stuff that we'd love to happen. But otherwise, the front lines, I'm for it. I like the change. I'd like to hear your guys' opinions individually. Let's start with Suetonia. Do you like the idea of the front lines kind of coming into existence instead of the hodgepodge, every system's for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, it'll increase the amount of PvP that people can get because everything will be like focused into like a few hotspots. It'll also, I think, also help a lot with the problem with bots and farmers in faction warfare because everyone will have to because yeah, I believe I don't know what the plan is. I think CCP Aurora mentioned like no LP or very reduced LP. If you go and do plexes in the backline systems, you won't get as much LP or you won't get any. And the plexes respawn much slower there, so you can't really farm the backline systems. If you want to make money in faction warfare, you have to go to the frontline systems, which is good. So that'll mean, hopefully, that will mean that because less farmers are making LP, the individual LP that PvPers are earning will go up. So it'll mean that PvPers will make more money and PvPers will hopefully get more fights and more action. And it'll be a lot more easy, I think, for people to know where to go to get fights. So I think one of the problems that's with the current FW, right, is like, okay, I joined FW, where do I go? It
Yep.
doesn't tell you to go here, right? It doesn't tell you anywhere. Whereas, hey, there's a front line over here. I should probably go over here. It's a lot more obvious.
Yeah, I agree. Reece?
I mean, it sounds like it's addressing some of the problems that I've heard from some friends of mine, where it's just so many bots you're dealing with, and with the differences in values in different areas, it's really interesting. It makes me wonder if this system could be adapted to other things.
It
I
kind of
agree.
reminded me of the old Triglavian invasion mechanic, and I think it's also maybe the liminal storm mechanic where you got like an anchor system, which is like the focal point, and then systems one jump away are like minor systems, and then you got the fringe systems and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I agree. And yeah, I do think the front lines will get rid of the, 5 Christians that are in every system farming a plex for hours on end and warp off instantly when you warp in. Next big one I'd have to say would be, I like, that we kind of touched on it a little bit, that there's the front line, there's the command operations right behind it, and then rear guard. I do like that they came out with that. I rewatched CCP Aurora and CCP Psych talking about faction warfare. Do you like that they kind of made static and then rare spawn stuff, mainly for like the hardcore faction warfare players to be able to be like, oh look, I got the rare spawn battleship one, and get their little crew together to bash that one themselves, because that's I think like the lowest spawn rate.
Yeah, there's some also really interesting changes with like the new plexes that they're making. So like one big thing is that there's going to be like 5-man plexes now instead of the standard one.
Yep.
Where like right now the problem is like a lot of people just solo in plexes. There's not real much incentive to get together with your friends unless you're like really trying to push a system over, because the LP just gets divided between everyone there. Whereas like these new 5-man ones, it'll not divide the LP up until like 5-man, so you can like bring like 3 or 4 of your friends there, and you can capture plexes together, and then you don't have to worry about like stealing other people's LP and stuff.
Yep. And I like and the split between navy and regular type of plexes, so you can't have someone flying in a Garmer when you're in a Tech 1 or a Navy ship on a plex. That's a nice little touch, because I see that a lot when I do drift into low sec for shits and giggles. That you'll see like Tech 1 frigates all over the place, and then all of a sudden you go into one system and you want to fuck around with some people, and then all of a sudden you have like 3 Garmers and a Succubus on grid, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? So that's also the nice split too. Besides the scaling of LP for multiple members to do it.
Yeah, there's also going to be a rebalance of victory points too. If you don't know what those are, victory points is basically just how much points you get when you capture a Plex towards the contested status of a system. But right now, they all have identical number of victory points. They will give you 20 victory points. But the novice and the small, because they have like the smaller capture timers, it means that they actually give you more like victory points per hour. And so right now, the FW meta is just really focused around just frigates only, right? Because like if you control the medium and the large with like a cruiser comp, you still lose the system, because if they control the novice and the small, they'll actually just earn more victory points over time, because those Plexes just quicker to capture.
Yep.
It's good that that's being addressed, definitely, because you don't just want to forget life forever. You want to have some counterplay. You want to have some different ships doing different things.
Yeah.
It also means industrial folk are actually making different ships other than just mass producing frigates.
Yeah. No, I mean, some of the add-ons. I know the industrial stuff. Didn't they were talking a little bit about building stuff for the army, for the navies and stuff for the different factions. I mean, I'd like some of the other little things besides the victory point spreading and kind of redo, was the fact that you can put up the propaganda posts, you can do logi runs, you can do a bunch of other stuff besides just, hey, I have to capture plexes. I personally giggle every time when Aurora was saying three propaganda towers per system, and I was like, yes, the rule of 3. Let's steal that from Pakvin. Or is Pakvin secretly running faction warfare?
I wonder how many propaganda structures Dirt and Glitter are going to have up in different systems at the same time.
Yeah. Let me see. There's something else. I had another talking point about faction warfare. Oh yeah, the whole arc thing. I mean, we'll see that coming around. That's just gonna be. I mean, they hinted at it's kind of gonna be a guessing game of when certain things are gonna come in. Certain objectives, I should say, are gonna pop in. I think that's a cool idea. To kind of have, random population of objectives for you to do in faction warfare instead of just, hey, we need to push this front line towards this point and call it a day. I think it's an interesting and fun mechanic, more for the people that want something than just PvP and LP. Like, I think that's a great idea. It kind of story drives something. Most of us who were in the creation of Pakvin times with the Trig invasions, we get that whole storyline pushing. We kind of want to push the narrative, and I think that's a great way to get more people into faction warfare. I personally just see some of us are kind of pigeonholed where we can't do it as much as we'd like to do faction warfare until that allegiance thing comes into play.
Yeah, I think that was a big hit to a lot of the expectations and a lot of the drive to jump into it hardcore because of the current limitations.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Faction warfare is one of those things. I'm like, I always tell myself, yeah, I want to try that one time, and then historically, I would look into it and be like, oh, I have to change corporations.
Oh, you have to drop your alliance because no alliance, unless it's the FW variety, wants people to be doing that.
Yep. And for a lot of us triangles, we probably just choose Caldari since we own Caldari space pretty much. What, 17 systems are Caldari? Something like that? 17 or 19? just so we don't get boned when we leave.
Yeah,
Well, does that mean you have to join Galanti instead, though, right? Because you just need to dominate Kadar even more.
But it's Jitta, man. It's the closeness to Jitta for almost all of us.
Look, it's just about the Amar ships and how shiny they are. Okay.
Duh.
I mean, if you had a real ship, if you could own a real ship, which would you really own? For like the pimpiness, you know, that's like just pimping out there. You just go out there in the Revelation and be like, look, this is my ship.
Zenitra. No, I'm kidding. Even though I almost bought one the other day. Anything Trig?
If there was a trig carrier.
Yeah, so Tony, if you haven't listened to any of the other shows, we kind of lose it on fantasy trig ships that we'd love to see. But yeah, no, I think the idea though for the revamps, I can't wait to see it come in. I might throw. I don't want to. I have an alpha alt that I purposely made to do like pirate based stuff. I don't want to leave the corp though. Then I'm in with it, but it would be fun when you know the new system drops to get a character. Maybe I'll take one of my alts that I let lapse that I haven't nuked the skill points out of yet. Go into a faction warfare and start fucking around a little bit with it because it does. Compared to what it was before, I remember when faction warfare first came into the game, it was an interesting thing. I still was being a dirty high-sec miner slash shit, I'm forgetting the name. Incursion runner. Like that's all I did for a long time. And I didn't really have interest in it back then during the heyday, like the golden era where faction warfare was actually fun and interesting. But seeing the changes and seeing what they want to put into place, it kind of piques my interest. I never wanted to play faction warfare until I kind of saw the changes because it's a lot different than what was originally done.
I think it's a good evolution in what's going to be going on with Eve. I wait to see how it comes out, how it evolves. You know, the question is, what effects does it have? Because you say this is going to do this, until it's in the hands of the masses, you never know what it's going to do.
Leave it to an Eve player. They'll figure out how to break it.
Yeah, it goes with any game. Players will optimize the fun out of everything.
So Tony knows that. He was flying a Dragoon all day today.
Hey, the Dragoon is really fun. That's mostly because you win with it, but...
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I mean, that whatever works. I mean, you got to min-max stuff. You got to throw curveballs at developers. I'm sure with events, once you've gotten into them, for QA, Sutonia, you probably scratch your head sometimes being like, how the fuck are people doing this?
Not really so far. I don't think I've ever been confused by someone doing something.
Yet. Well, you still actively play the game really hard, so you know how players will break everything.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do a kind of left turn to AT tournament. What is today the last weekend for signups? Or is it next weekend? Can't remember off the top of my head. You can tell I'm an AT pilot. But it's driving Plex prices up because people are trying to get their Plex together for their silent bids.
Yeah, Plex is currently getting close to 5 mil per.
Yeah. Which makes me sad that I sold my Plex like 2 months ago.
Well, I mean, 6 months ago, Plex was, according to this, close to 3 million.
Yeah.
But not quite.
So
yeah, it's close. It's almost doubled basically.
yeah, yeah, pretty much doubled.
Oh,
It doesn't help.
LSIs are almost 850.
Yeah.
Oof.
So we need to
Oh,
start
no.
a GoFundMe for Reece so he stays active.
No.
I know
I'm just waiting and seeing. I'm waiting and seeing.
you're going alpha to just feel out whether you want to pay for it or not. I mean, that's the same reason why I got rid of, went from 6 to 1.
Yeah, and I
Except,
can definitely do some PvP with an alpha.
yeah, except I went 6 to 1 and I want to stay at 1. I think that's my happy zone. I can do stuff when I've got time. But so the AT is starting up. Mimitar is hosting it this time. I'm not going to go through all the rules because that is way too much. So mercenary rules stayed from last year, which is cool. If I felt like a competent PvPer, I'd probably just beg, AT PvP. I'd beg Noir for a mercenary spot, but they got a bunch of good pilots, so that wouldn't work. So mercenary rules staying. I want to see. So Suetonia will probably get a giggle out of this. I really want to see what 420 hull destroyers come into existence. Suetonia should lead it. CCP AT tournament team. Only CCP devs.
Yeah, I mean that would be funny until we win.
Oh,
Well,
I was about
no,
to say. I thought you were going to
that's
say it'd
why
be
you do like an
funny.
all-star game.
Oh yeah, an all-star.
Like with baseball. It's an exhibition game. You do it on Twitch for fun. Maybe even you have a little thing for charity. Who knows? That could be interesting.
Yeah, we had a fun expedition of like EVNT versus CCP last year, I believe. It'll be fun to like crush the ISD guys or something.
Oh yeah. It would be funny it would just be funny because Swift would just boundary violate like in the first like 30 seconds. We already know that would happen. So see you have to have Swift on the active team just so you automatically lose a player.
It's okay. We'll put him in
Swift.
like a no proper baden or something.
Put him with a triple plated something and just watch.
So yeah, so top 5 teams from last year. That's right, Kestrel? Suetonia, whatever.
Yeah, I believe I think it's the top 3 teams from the Anger Games and the top 3 teams from the Alliance tournament. I'm not 100% sure. I know there's 6 teams that are getting re-invited.
Yep. Oh yeah, it is 6. That's right. Yep. Yeah, Hydra reloaded, Voldra reloaded. Only need 2 comps, paper numbers, and capital supremacy. Don't want to try to pronounce that first name in that capital supremacy name. Silent auctions going on, so that's the reason for the Plex kind of staying high. Besides, some other things going on. So the tournaments, there's the trials tournament too. Again, I did like that from last year. I thought it added a fun dynamic. Little bit different and more fun than just a regular AT tournament that way.
It's a more fun way of just like telling some teams that they can't play, like happened in previous ATs before like AT 14, when I think Logi Bro put the feeder rounds in.
Yeah, the feeders. I find the feeders a lot more fun because it's do or die than the regular AT. That's just me personally. When I watch the AT, once the feeders are kind of over, I watch when I can. It's always interesting. And Suetonia, you brought this up on your stream earlier. What is it? Damps this time? That you think something might have been missed?
Yeah, damps are allowed again, I believe, which is really interesting. From last year, damps in the AT were always like incredibly dominant. until CCP ended up just banning them completely. So it'll be interesting to see like what that brings to the AT.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't want to dig through. I started looking at some of the rules and stuff for AT, but I mean AT is always AT. It's fun to watch. I couldn't do what some teams I hear are doing, 2 times a day practices just to make it easier for people. Other people are just doing once a weekend. I mean, I'm sure everyone's fitting random ships together based on the points to see what might work the best. It'll be interesting to see how the AT rolls out this year.
Yeah, there's some other changes too. Like you can bring 4 copies of a ship now, but every like extra copy you bring increases the point cost of the ship hull.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's actually a good idea. So you don't have people rolling too many of one type. All right, so Tony, we're gonna veer off in the left field a little bit on you, just because you're here.
Uh-oh.
What? It's not gonna be that. Oh, okay. Actually, before we do that, Lashak is actually still up there for point cost. A Lashak is more expensive than a Marauder.
I mean, there's a good reason for that.
Oh, come on. Marauders are cheese by 1 point. Lashak's 25, Marauders 24.
There's no Bastion in the AT though, right? And they both have the 4 utility high slots, so.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I love my Lashak, so. Yeah, there's not too many oddballs. I mean, high end covered, low end, cheap stuff. I mean, there's nothing too.
But if damps are back on the menu, there's going to be a lot of little damp ships that are going to be doing crazy things.
Yeah. I mean, for us, for trig ships, Nergal's 7 points, Kiki's 8 points, Vedmax 10, Draugur's 10. And that's a nice little happy zone there. They're not as expensive as they were last AT. Icky's 16, that makes sense. Domovic's 17, also makes sense. Zarmzad's 18, which I've talked with the new Bros a lot about it, and they've been talking about potentially bringing those out on their smaller fleets because Zarms are ridiculous for armor reps.
Yeah, I think they still have pretty high costs because the last year was an Edencom sponsored event, and so all of the trig ships got like put up higher.
Yeah, they're expensive, but it makes sense. I mean, they are a good ship. Sorry, Scotty just messaged me. They're good ships, and I can understand their point costs. It's kind of hard to justify them being cheaper because everyone will just spam. I mean, spam Kikis, spam any trig ship in general, and cause havoc. So I understand, from a tournament perspective, having them point cost higher. And before I ask you this question, Sutonia, Scotty, I don't know. I have to stream more so I can become an affiliate. I don't stream enough for me to be an affiliate on Twitch to start getting all those fun benefits for people. So Sutonia, I'm gonna ask you this because it's a trig podcast. What is your favorite trig ship to fly?
Oh, I don't actually fly them that often. The one that I've flown the most of probably is the Vedmak.
Good old Ved.
I'd say that the Nurgle is probably my favorite one, but I haven't actually flown it all that much.
Nurgles are fun. Nurgles are silly.
Just because of the fact that you can get up to like 650 DPS or something on a frigate if you get it to max spool.
Yeah. I have a dirty Lashak. Well, actually, I still fly my Icky Torsa a lot. I still love it. But I have a dirty Lashak that I call my PvP shack. Um, I haven't flown it in a minute, but I think it has 5 kill marks on it. I take it out randomly, and it literally newts the person out, so I can just destroy them. And now that I have a high grade Mimesis pod, I kind of want to structure bash with it just to see how much damage I can put out. I mean, it's got like a
Definitely be
bit.
at the top of the kill mill.
Oh yeah. It's nice. I mean, I have it a bit. I have some abyssal rolled stuff on it, mainly for radiation sinks, just for more damage and speed.
Yeah, good red sinks are really nice.
Yeah. But I really want to see what my max spool is. Because Kybernauts have done competitions when we were shooting passes before, where it's like, oh, you get like 100 million if you get the kill mail or if you get top damage. And there was one time, one of the passes we were bashing, I ended up getting top kill and top damage, and I was just like, and it was top damage by like a good chunk. So I kind of want to see you with my skills in a Lashak just to hit a pass and see how much damage I can do over time. But
So make sure you take like Pyro 4 and like a hardcore like event drug too, like the DD booster when that was in the game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I pop all the drugs that I could to do it. I still have to fill out all my hardwire slots on that Mimesis pod, but selling all my structures bought me that Mimesis pod. Suetonia, then here's the other side note. Spend any time in Pockman besides, your Abyssal Proving Ground?
I was farming it quite a bit with Volta for a while, doing the observatory flashpoints, and I've checked it out occasionally. I did farm myself up to like 4.0 trig standings just so I could use like all of the station facilities in Botchan. Like the like being able to install clones there and like the industry jobs.
Yep.
But I haven't actually done a whole lot with Botchan in like the last 6 months or so.
Good. I'll tell Zhao to yell at you. We spent a lot of where we have one Volta member that is, is fun to hang out with. It's Zhao. So he's entertaining to pilot stuff in Pockman with because he is ridiculous sometimes. You Brits are kind of interesting. All right. It's kind of we got about a bit of time. I want to ask you this. I mean, I know you do QA stuff. I know this isn't going to happen for us. We've been running it player ran. I got to reach out again and talk to people in the Triangle again, including corps that aren't trigs but live here, and we've accepted them into our culture of Pakvan. Totality Day. Talked about this a little bit last time we were on.
Yeah, coming up in October.
Yep, October is coming around. I've already decided. I mean, I have another 120 Domovics or something like that, so we'll be doing that again for the Domovic Swarm. Kylon, you planning on doing your Care Bears, Revenge of the Care Bear?
Yeah, we'll do another Orship PvP roam.
That'll be fun.
Maybe dispose of an Orca or two.
Tama's kind of dead now, so we won't have random Rourke coming in for the Care Bears Revenge.
Well, Tom was taking a hit after they lost that to Tara.
Yeah.
Hey Dealers is where it's at now, though, because it's between Old Man Star, where Kodari FW live, and Fleet, where Galanti FW live.
Hmm.
That's like the most dangerous low sec system now, Hey Dealers.
Oh, right on.
Well,
Unfortunately, I
figure
don't
it
think
out.
you guys have a great way to get there, because the closest place you have right is, I think, is Vale, that like system. That's like a few jumps from Valor.
Yeah. Yeah, it also depends where you extract out of too. If you don't have a wormhole, I mean, I've done the lazy extract. I think I flew all the way to Tunadin one time, Kylon, in one of my legions to extract into Amar space.
Oh, you mean Harva?
Yeah, Harva. There we go. Yeah, I flew all the way to Harva and was like, oh, hopefully no one catches me.
Yeah, Vale used to be like a dead end system, right? Like on the end of a pipe. So I think like the entrance wormhole into Vale, that Podgen system, should almost always be like close to Villa, because they're always within like 3 to 4 jumps of where the like system used to be, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's always a good option. I mean, we have fun with our totality day events. Who knows when you'll have to QA those if the CCP ever picks it up and takes it out of our hands. But I know that's how, even the nations, it took several years of people running the events themselves before CCP picked them up. Unless we can, bully Sutonia into into CCP running it for us instead of just a Kikimora Kikimora Abyssal Proving Ground. But it'll be fun. Last year was it was a lot of fun last year. I know we got a lot of planning to do. I mean, it'll be a little bit of a strain for us. I might try to run something else. I'll have to figure it out. Probably be having to hand out Triglavian Times Discord like candy to everyone, so we can just host stuff here, so people don't have to hunt around for others' Discords. We kind of did that last year, but
It worked.
But I figure this year it'd be better. Everyone just can use this, the Discord for this show, just because it's kind of a happy ground since the coalition doesn't really exist anymore. So it's a happy neutral ground.
Neutral ground is fine.
Yeah.
We all got to come together for Triangle Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I look the most forward to the Weird Show Proving, which is the 15-man versus 15 man versus 15 man.
Yeah.
And so on Brawl. Last year it went on for like 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's the stuff we do is a lot of fun. I liked what we put on last year. Maybe I can't remember. I think Aurora was last time I talked to Aurora or Swift. They were talking about how they were kind of poking around the event a little bit. So hopefully, some of the CCP devs, Kestrel and others are.
They gave us a warp speed boost last year.
Yeah.
For like a week.
Poke
Yeah,
around a little bit.
that should actually be pretty doable, because I don't think it takes too long to put that in. I can talk to CCP Fozzie about that.
Yeah.
At least get the warp speed boost in, that gets completely negated by the debuffing in there.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's one of the bad things about being in Hawkwood.
Yeah. We'll have to get the race. We'll also have to get the race around the triangle set up again too. That was a cool, fun thing to do.
I guess technically you guys could kill the Daz liminality thing, right? But
Hawks on the no, we will never do that.
Trigs are friends, not food.
Yeah. I fought hard for my 3.0 and my dual positiveness.
We got one guy in Kybernauts that is trying to hit that elusive 10.0.
Oh,
It's a pain.
Oh yeah, he said he's getting 0.0 0.001 tick every tick.
Hmm.
So it's gonna take him a hot minute. I know he's up in like past 9. I think he's like 9.7, 9.8, something like that already.
It was like 1,000 ticks between 9.99 and 10.0.
Yeah. So he's
It's
working
like
on
3
it.
months.
He's working on it, but
It is possible, I think, because I think
Yeah.
a couple people
I've got it.
Tribog have it. And
My
of
main-
course, Kylon has it.
Yep.
My main's got it.
Of course,
I
Kylon has
But
it.
yeah, or no, yeah, someone in Strivog beat me to it. I think it was Rumilia.
oh, that doesn't surprise me at all. I hit 7.0 and I was like, I'm good. I think I'm like
Yeah.
7.5 or something like that now, but
Like actively grinding, you only want a certain amount.
yeah. Well, I actively ground because we live in a home system, so I had to actively grind so I could be able to fly the whole triangle. That brings up a good point. If we do, I talking to you guys, Kylon and Reece. I think we should do 2 different brackets for the race. I think you should do a 7.0 bracket and a non 7.0 bracket and do the races at different times.
Could be.
I mean, granted, you're literally warping like 500 kilometers to go to the next gate in a home system, but you have to be able to enter it, jet over, and go over.
See what you're saying.
It'd be fun to have the difference instead of 24, have all 27. All right, so we're getting to that point in the show where we start winding down. I got a couple other random trig questions for you, Satonia.
Sure.
Just say no.
Yeah, just say no. Just ignore me. It's okay. You have looked at the trig lineup. You've seen certain ships. What would be a single trig ship that you'd think would be interesting that doesn't exist right now? Like a class of ship, I should say.
I think it'd be really fun to have like a trig version of like the Talos or the Naga. Basically like a Drekavac that does Leshak damage, but it's like a glass cannon.
That would actually be pretty badass. I don't think we've ever heard that one before.
I mean, the super obvious one, right, would be like a Leshak Marauder or Leshak Black Ops or like a Drekavac command ship.
Yeah, I think everyone on here would be like Leshak Marauder, but it's got to have like keep the damage the same, but just give it 3 guns. But that would actually be pretty cool. I don't think we had that one. I think we still all have our eyes set on the transport ships already exist in the game. Just allow us to fly them.
Oh yeah, the DAS thingies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are really cool actually. I think they also like change their graphics depending on like how much cargo they have in the like how much like space taken up in the cargo or something. So yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be totally different.
How would you see a trig transport ship though? Like what would make it trig? Just it would like spool up or something.
The longer you carry cargo, the more cargo space you get.
The warp speed like gets like higher the longer it's in warp or something.
Yeah, we were thinking like the maybe active armor reps that get stronger with each cycle. Like
Yeah.
local reps.
Something like that. I don't know. I'd just like to see the ship exist. I mean, just steal Galente technology with their transport line. We need it for all that. We need it for all that
It
abyssal
should have
lore.
like a cargo bay of like 3 or something.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's all that abyssal lore. I mean, we got to be able to move it somehow. Besides
I
compressing
just want my trig mining ships, thank you.
it.
Spool it up.
That is the fantasy. Spooling trig mining ships and spooling trig drones.
Spooling is so much cooler than not spooling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gotta spool fast.
see, I've talked to some people and they give me the huge question mark about why I want spooling drones, and my response is to put them in a Leshak to structure bash. They start out doing less damage than normal drones, but they end up doing like maybe like 25% max over other drones. Like if you allow them to spool up the normal spool up time of trig ships. Because that would be great for bashing structures.
I mean, more options is always better than less options, in my opinion, you know, just with anything.
Mm-hmm.
So having more options, more ways for players to attack different problems than just what we have now is always better. The hard part is when it comes down to QA and balancing and trying to figure out where you can make it fit. And can you make it without it being overpowered or dethrone another ship?
Exactly. Oh, that is one thing. There's one thing from Faction Warfare we didn't get to ask you, Satonia. Are you excited or holding your breath about the fact that there will be Navy destroyers?
I can't comment on that, but
You know too
I
much.
would really love to see Navy
Well,
destroyers.
I'm just saying, I know you can't leak stuff. I know how CCP is, but like Navy destroyers would be freaking cool. Like I'm
Yeah,
actually
they
looking
would
forward
be,
to it.
yeah.
Like I'm actually looking forward to it. Like, it'll be so on point to have finally had that kind of gap filled up. Oh,
Kind of weird that the only like special destroyer we have really is the Kikimora. Like unlike all of the other ship classes, at least battle cruisers have a Navy variation, for example.
mhm. But yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about the general line. I mean, I'd love to see like what Trigs would have to have something like Troika or something for Trig Navy ships, but the regular
I guess you could
faction,
have like Vetus Clade or something, Damovik
or
or
yeah, Doom to the Clades, you know. But that gets kind of squirrely because you know some are Velis, some are Purun, some are Svaros.
Leshak Ellis issue.
That's why I just said Troika. But yeah, no, I'm excited about the whole destroyers getting a Navy class. I think that's cool. Trig Navy ships would be crack, and I would love it. I would probably blow my really big wallet on the ships very fast, but I mean, I could probably keep Reece plexed for the next like 30 months with my wallet right now, but
what we should really have is trig ships that you can use mutaplasmids on to roll them into like abyssal trig ships.
Who
There you
brought
go.
that
Real
up?
way to destroy people's wallets is to like make them waste like 20 bill to get the perfect Kikimora or something.
Oh yeah,
Do it. Do it. I'm not even memeing. Do it.
don't do it because I just throw money at people that roll the shit because I'm not willing to do it myself. I want to dump all this shit. Oh fuck. No, but
Dude,
they were
it
talking.
just sends shivers down your spine thinking about all that you'd have to roll.
Mutaplasmids, okay.
I'm good.
Ship mutaplasmids, they're only 10 bill apiece.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I
And
still
then
want.
you have to roll 10 of them because you keep getting like power grid penalties that stop you from being able to fit it.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't
Yeah.
deal with that shit. All right, we got about 10 minutes left. Last things, really quick, Reece or Kylon that you guys want to talk to Sutonia about?
I personally don't.
Well, you're going
I
alpha,
mean,
so we get that.
this is just me being me.
Kylon?
I was going to say you're my favorite person to listen to during the tournament things.
Yeah, you do a good job during tournaments, Sutonia.
Average green drink enjoyer.
Oh, the Green Fairy?
Yeah. I get asked about that all the time for some reason.
Man, I haven't had good Green Fairy since I was in Germany. But
Germany's
all
a
right.
fun place.
Oh, it is. I also was 17 at the time, so I could drink at the bars. God, that was like years and years. Well,
You're getting old. We're all
I
getting
am
old.
getting old. That was
This game's
more
getting
than
old.
half my lifetime ago. God, I'm getting old. God, I've played Eve too long.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to be 40 in like 3 weeks.
you're ahead of me, Kylon, by 1 year.
Crisis here.
We're all spring chickens here.
And before you know it, your kids will be in college.
Yeah, it'll be too long.
I was about to say Reece can't wait. Not Reece, Kylon can't wait for his kids to be in college. They're out of my hair now. All right, let's get into the wind down. Sutonia, this is when we normally talk about like our favorite kills since the last show / last week or so if you're not like a normal visitor on the show. For me, last weekend we had to bail out on the structure bash against Horde. We were trying to delete another Horde Astra out of Otella. So we decided to just, screw it. We're gonna go have some fun roaming the triangle, and I closed it. We knocked off a Drake and a Proteus in our little fleet of fun, and then we took over a gate camp. We pushed some people off a gate camp and sat around gate camp, and then one of the guys that we actually know came out with a succubus, and there was another guy out there, and they were having some fun, and we were just like, well, screw this shit, and we all kind of left and let them take over the gate camp in Pockvin. But it was a fun little, hey, there's a gate camp going on, like let's root, like these guys constantly run this gate camp in Pockvin. If you live in Pockvin, you know who they are. They normally have a couple of T3Cs, and just dunking on that Proteus and kind of ruining that gate camp was pretty fun to do.
Talking about the guys near Arvisaurus, is it?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hard to kill. Definitely the opponents.
Yeah, well, when like 16 dudes pop through and they purposely bait out certain ships so they won't be cloaked, they aren't that lucky anymore. But Reece, any fun kills or are you just mining?
You know me, just mining, being a good boy, making rocks into dust.
Kylon?
Let's see. It's been a pretty good week. Hard to pick one. I'll pick the most contentious one. It was actually an RC thing. We killed a Sodio.
Ooh.
In Minmatar Losec. And this Sodio had been anchored only 15 minutes prior to us arriving.
Oh boy.
We killed the guy, the owner of it. He was on his way in a Tyra, no less. Filled like this Tyra had like six and a half bill of stuff in it, blueprints, everything that he intended to go into Sodio.
Wasn't it an unrigged Tyra?
Yes. Like I think all it had was cargo expanders on it. To tell you the truth.
That is a nice merc, Kylon. I will give you that one. Suetonia.
Dual cooperation with Comel, but apparently, I mean, this Sodia was undefended, and apparently there was some new player who had somehow purchased the ISK to buy all this.
Oh, you mean he wallet warriored, and we lost Kylon. All right.
He wallet warriored is what I was told, and he
He
wallet
wallet
warriored like everything that was in the Terra and the Sativa.
Dude, the wallet warrioring is kind of hilarious. I don't feel bad when people wallet warrior and lose all their shit.
They went into real life debt to do this, supposedly.
Although with the price of Plex right now, right, it's like not even like that much now.
But it's still that like you wallet warriored and you lost all your shit. Like
Yeah, that's always fun to see them lose.
it's
Because whenever someone says like Eve is paid to win because of Plex, you just point them to the guy who loses like Funny Bill or even Navy issues to code or something.
yeah. I mean,
All right.
I'm sorry, Colin. I mean, I made a lot of my like my wallet is as big as mine is now is because I ran multiple accounts. Yes, I was paying to win technically because I had multiple subscribed accounts, but I was mining all the fucking time. I mean, I had mining operations on Moons for about 6 months, and I was making decent amount of money off of it. And then when I decided to get out of the business, me selling everything off made me money. So it's
the kind of pay to win that's okay though.
Yeah, I paid to win because I was actually playing the game. I didn't just open up my wallet and go, okay, well, I get a bunch of fucking money now. Suetonia, favorite kill in the past like week or so?
A bit longer than a week, but I killed Remelia like a few weeks ago in his high grade Nirvana worm in my hookbill, which was pretty nice.
That is nice. I brought this up before. I always kind of giggle when I see Amelia starting up Pockvin Rome thing. I'm like, dude, you do not post that on Reddit. We have way too many trig players that comb that Reddit like a fine-tooth comb, hoping some idiot comes in and we just gate camp the shit out of one gate so hard that they die.
Remember there was that one guy who was trying to mine? And
what one?
he was in a border field. In border fields you can set pings.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he got murdered. It was so good.
All right, well, we're getting ready for wind down. You guys got any shout outs? We'll just kind of go clockwise. We'll start with Reece and go around.
I'll just shout out the fellow triangles and hopefully all of y'all are ready for our day because it's not far around the corner.
Nope.
It's really not. Time flies.
Kylon?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. It's probably time to start preparing for totality festivities.
Suetonia, any shout outs for you?
I guess the 1v1 destroyer proving ground is like super fun. The Nemesis skin you can get from that is super cool. So I don't know if you'll be able to make it onto the leaderboard if you start now though, because the bottom is like 57 wins, because it's just been like super crazy popular. But yeah, the 1v1 destroyer Abyssal proving ground is just super fun.
Suetonia's got to get right back. Suetonia's
I gotta start grinding it again because I'm about to fall off.
I was about to say, Suetonia's going to be back streaming again in about a minute. Because he's got to get back on the leaderboards. My shout outs are to Suetonia. Thank you for joining us today. I know we're kind of a small community. So thanks for joining us. It's always fun to have CCP devs on with your guys' perspective on stuff. And then my other shout outs is to the Triangle livers that aren't the null blocks. You guys are the boss. I love that you guys are out here in the triangle causing havoc to null blocks. You guys are great. All right, well, we'll wrap up here. I'm actually going to raid us again into someone else's channel. So there we go. That's super easy. So we will be back probably in 2 weeks. I'm trying to get back on that 2-week show running. It's been kind of weird for me recently, but I'm trying to get back on that every 2 weeks going. So we'll see you guys in about 2 weeks. Peace out,
Indeed.
guys.
Good.
Later.
See ya.